Welcome to Big Vile Opinion. Moderators, with my permission, any negativity in the chat should be hidden from this channel. This channel is a negativity-free channel, drama-free channel, and we are here to push the message out. We will not be distracted. So with my permission, any negativity in the chat should be hidden from this channel. Welcome to Big Vile Opinion Platform.
And I just really want people to know, I appreciate anybody that's helping me. I appreciate anybody that's helping me. A lot of people have been there for me. I just don't want people going back and forth, being mad at each other because one person did this for me and another person did that for me. That's what the devil wants. He wants to cause confusion. That's what these people want. They want to cause confusion. And confusion ain't gonna do nothing but keep me in here. But the real thing here.
My bad. Yo. What it do? It's your boy Big Vile Opinion back with another live video. And today, man, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share button. Most importantly, make sure you sub to the channel if you haven't already done so. Turn on that post notification bell so that you'll be notified each and every time that your boy Big Vile is going live. Okay, with that being said, now, do you all recall a few years back us hearing about this story of the white DJ accused of sex trafficking nearly 700 black girls, and also he was accused of infecting these women, young women as well. Are you all familiar with this story? Are you all familiar with this story? What's up, Jericho? What's up, Miss Lady T? What's up, Bree? Hey, child, what's going on? What's going on? Are you all familiar with this story? Not gonna be on too long. Just want to bring this to the light. What up with it, Anthony? So DJ, this guy's name is DJ Kid. So let's take a look. Demon DJ guilty of raping nearly 700 underage black girls. Some expected the electric chair, but South Carolina DJ Jason Roger Pope, once known as DJ Kid, gets off with a reduced sentence after pleading guilty to raping nearly 700 underage black girls. Pause. Where is the Me Too movement for DJ Kid? Where is Tarana Burke for DJ Kid? Where is the Time's Up for DJ Kid? Where are all of these movements that were out here supporting people like Geronda Pace, Faith Rogers, goddamn Lizette Martinez, Lisa Van Allen. The Me Too movement was out here in support of all of these different women. Where was the Me Too? This man pleaded guilty to raping nearly 700 underage black girls. Where is the cry out? Where is the media presence for DJ Kid? Where is the media presence? Why wasn't this broadcasted all over the news? Why did he have a sequestered jury? And to my knowledge, what's up, Miss Carla? What up with the DV? Lex, what's good? And to my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, but I heard this guy also was infected with HIV as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. Miss Carla said she was waiting on this one, so let me see. Let me see what I can do. So, what up with the J Rock? So I'm gonna reread it. It says, some expected the electric chair, but South Carolina DJ Jason Roger Poe, once known as DJ Kids, get off with a reduced sentence after pleading guilty to raping nearly 700 underage black girls. Okay, if y'all hear this part and y'all thought their part was worse, it gets even worse now. What up with it, Bree? What up with it, J Rock? What's happening with it? But instead, Jason Poe being sentenced away for the rest of Jason Poe. Instead of Jason Pope being sent away for the rest of his life, Judge Brian Gibson suspended a 30-year sentence to 19 years, which was a far lighter punishment than prosecutors initially declared for the rapists who admitted to prostituting and having raping 693 underage black girls. I have a motherfucking problem with this. And you know the problem I have with this. Y'all know the problem I have with this. The problem I have with this is, how in the hell did Mr. Kelly get sentenced to 30 years in federal prison? I don't know. My problem is, how did Mr. Kelly get sentenced to 30 years in federal prison? And we looking at this situation right here. A man pleads guilty to raping 693 underage black girls. Now they say America don't care about black girls. They say America don't care about black women. This man got a 30-year sentence for raping 693 black girls, and also he was infected with HIV, and a judge came back. The judge came back and reduced his 30-year sentence to 19 years. Man, Well, I'm sure they're gonna say, well, that's different. You know, they always like to say that. They always like to be like, oh, that was different. What's up, Frankie? They always like to say, oh, that was different. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit is bullshit, man. I don't care where you lay it at. Bullshit is bullshit, and I don't care where you lay it at. It's still gonna fucking stink.
A predator gets reduced sentence after abusing 700 minors. What the actual? That's what it says. Her Atlanta Black Star, major South Carolina sex trafficking case that languished in the court system for more than 4 years, came to an anticlimactic conclusion in August 2023 when 46-year-old Jason Roger Pope, white disc jockey, received a reduced sentence after pleading guilty to 13 felony charges of having sex with children, including hundreds of underage Black girls. You're not about to do this to me today.
They say, where is time's up? Where is Me Too? Where is Tarana, aka Miss Netta Burks? Where is Tarana, aka Miss Netta Burks? These Me Too movements and all of this shit that was supposed to be for Black women and empowering Black women, getting justice for Black women, where were you all when this situation was going on? Miss Cookie, what's going on? Hammer Time, what's going on? Where was the smoke at? Where was the representation for these 700 Black girls? 700? Do you know how many people? 700? Do you know how many people that is? But they want us to believe that R. Kelly is a monster. But this man raped damn near 700 underage girls. And he get a reduced sentence? Oh, hell no, man. You can't make this shit make sense. You can't make this shit make sense.
I guess we're going to have to get into it. What a pig. Look at the picture, the eyes, the disgustingness, because that is what children saw. $700. For authorities, Pope worked for years as a DJ in Florence County, used his trade to take advantage of young girls through his job. He was able to...
Do you hear what they say? He was a DJ. He used his job to take advantage of these young girls. Ain't that the same shit they tried to accuse Mr. Kelly of? Didn't they try to accuse Mr. Kelly of using his music career to lure in, using the music industry to lure in these innocent Black girls? Didn't they say the same shit about Mr. Kelly? Didn't they try to say that Mr. Kelly was promising these girls careers, was supposed to be helping these young girls with their career? But 700? We talking about Mr. Kelly getting away with this shit for 30 years. This man raped and admitted to raping nearly 700 underage Black girls. Are you fucking serious? I'm trying to even calculate how the fuck is that even possible?
to promote teen dance parties and regularly marketed the events on social media. As part of a deal with prosecutors, why would there be a deal? Pope, once known as DJ Kid, that's actually what he called himself.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
To 5 counts of sex trafficking of a minor, 5 counts of criminal sexual conduct with a minor, and 3 counts of criminal sexual conduct for South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson. And I'm not impressed, Mr. Wilson. So instead of a 30-year prison term, Judge Brian Gibbons on the right suspended that possible sentence in favor of 19 years behind bars. Or lighter sentence.
700 underage black girls. 700 underage black girls, and also infected one of the, it says one, but who's to say how many of these young girls this man infected with HIV? 700 HIV. They sentenced this man to 30 years, and then another judge came back and reduced the 30-year sentence down to 19. What the fuck?
Much lighter punishment. And prosecutors initially wanted for Pope, who admitted to prostituting and having sex with 693 underage black girls between 2017 and 2019.
What the fuck? Did y'all just hear that shit? I know I didn't. From 2017 to 2019, 700 girls. You pled guilty to raping 693 underage black girls between 2017 and 2019. Are you serious? And where is the Me Too movement at? Where is the attention for these 700 and some girls? But when you look at the time frame, I'm gonna show you how these people were deadlocked on who they were how the Me Too movement was targeting individuals. Because if Me Too was primarily about black women or women of color and underage black girls, how the fuck y'all don't see this shit going on and address this, but you all are out here on an ambulance chase behind Robert Kelly? These people, the Me Too movement, targeted R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and you got a motherfucker over here then admitted to raping 693 underage black girls. And you don't even hear Me Too talking about this shit.
Behind bars. Far lighter sentence. Much lighter punishment. And prosecutors initially wanted for Pope, who admitted to prostituting and having sex with 693 underage black girls between 2017 and 2019. Do the math if you can stomach it. While intentionally infecting at least one of his young victims with HIV. If anyone deserves the max.
Do you believe in a 2-year span, y'all think in a 2-year span, they think that they can put anything out and a motherfucker just supposed to take it and believe it and run with it? So you mean to tell me out of 693 females that he's raped and sexually assaulted, only one of them contracted HIV? Do you seriously want me, Big Val Opinion, to believe that bullshit? $693 underage black girls that this man raped, and they want the world to believe only one of the females contracted HIV? Are you fucking serious? Ooh, Jesus, man, I'm trying to get through this video, but the more and more I listen, the more and more I get pissed the fuck off. The more I get pissed off.
Young victims with HIV. 690, much lighter punishment. And prosecutors initially wanted for Pope, who admitted to prostituting and having sex with 693 underage black girls between 2017 and 2019. Do the math if you can stomach it. While intentionally infecting at least one of his young victims with HIV. If anyone deserves the maximum, isn't it this piglet? But then again, we have to talk about black girls and their worth. Is it 20% of white girls? 10%? What is a black child, their promise, their future worth? What's a black girl worth? I'm just asking because I'm looking at the details here. The headline said something about nearly 700 victims. And I just did read a sentence that said, in a 2-year period, he admitted sex with 693 underage black girls, giving HIV intentionally to one of them, and you cut a deal with this monster? Not impressed. What are black girls worth? Well, let me tell you, the judge did order strict.
And that's a good question. What is a black girl worth? And I have another question. What is a successful black man worth? What is a black girl's worth? And what is a successful black man's worth? It's a good question. A damn good question.
In a 2-year period, he admitted sex with 693 underage black girls, giving HIV intentionally to one of them, and you cut a deal with this monster? Not impressed. What are black girls worth? Well, let me tell you, the judge did order strict probation conditions for Pope following his eventual release from prison. We're already talking about when he gets out to do it again.
Probation release. You mean to tell me an habitual rapist, 700 women, 700 underage girls, a reduced sentence? First of all, for him to only get 30 years is a slap in the fucking face. For him to get only 30 years is a slap in the face. And for a judge to reduce the 30 years to a 19-year sentence, and he only has to serve 5 years in prison, then be released on what is a black girl underage in this country worth? Man, this shit is crazy. I thought I've heard it all. I thought I've seen it all. I thought I heard it all. I thought I've seen it all.
Judge did order strict probation conditions for Pope following his eventual release from prison. We're already talking about when he gets out to do it again, folks. They're designed to protect the public. Yeah, right, Your Honor. Including a requirement that Pope be monitored around the clock for at least 5 years by special agents dedicated to supervising sex offenders. Who gonna pay for that, boo? And if we have them available, let's start protecting the kids a little bit sooner. Like, I don't know, after the first 100 or so are sexually assaulted, maybe move in then and see. I'm getting a sense that these girls aren't being protected in our community. Pope violates his probation. He'll be sent back to prison for 10 years. Big deal. That's how probation works. You violate it, you're back in the system, which is essentially the length of time the judge suspended from his original sentence. Why did you suspend it again? It said, you're not impressing me. Moreover, Pope will be required to register as a sex offender, routine, which will place his name into a national database to alert communities around his chosen place of residence, because that works. Permanent restraining order will bar him from contacting his victims. All 693 of them will be barred from contacting all 693 of his underage black girl victims, including the one he gave HIV to intentionally? I think it's a valid question. Atlanta Black Star giving us all the essential pieces of this one. Pope was arrested September 12, 2019, after authorities found evidence he had lured teen girls through his social media pages using his charming public persona as a front for sex. For nearly 4 years following his arrest, the legal case remained stalled. Why? While Pope remained held at the Florence County Detention Center without bond, he ultimately pleaded guilty on August 30th, 2023. Okay, the Attorney General and the judge they need to go. And I don't care if they're not even the worst.
This man pleaded guilty. The man pled guilty to raping 693 underage black girls. I'm just trying to understand what the fuck is going on, man. They want us to look at, they want us to feel like Mr. Kelly is a monster. I'm trying to understand, how do people feel about this? If you all want to express y'all thoughts and sentiments about this, hit the link. Come on, man. I need to hear what y'all think about this shit. Tanya, your camera's on. If you don't want your camera on, you can turn it off before you come on stage. Let's see. All
right. This is like I said before. God was
time. What's going on, Hammer Time?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm going to celebrate my birthday next Saturday, 58 years old. I'm 57. I've seen a lot of things in my lifetime, but this takes the cake. He should have been shot, castrated, mutilated, burnt to death. Okay?
This shit is ridiculous. I hear it.
Like I said, if he was black, they would have shot him down, hung him, and stuff like that there. Am I right or wrong on that statement?
Man, look, I'm with you.
Thank you very much.
An article of a man in Louisiana.
What state was this in, Big Vi?
North Carolina or
South Carolina?
South Carolina. You know what? I think the law. I think the judge is if he's up for election, they should vote him out. The prosecutor too. Anybody that's in there in that state should just in New Jersey here we got sex offender laws in here. We get them life without the possibility of parole. You know, Jesse Tremenda clause, Megan Kagan. Anybody remember that case?
The community was expecting him to get life.
That's what. Oh man, they had to make a sweetheart deal somewhere in the line along the line. But he should have got the death penalty. But you know, the death penalty is not required around here where I live. So I just say they should have had a firing squad for him.
I'm telling you, and then the simple fact you knowingly you intentionally, and then they just want us to believe that he only gave HIV to just one of the girls.
I feel sorry for that one victim who got HIV for nothing with this dirtbag.
Man,
he should have gotten castrated. I'm sorry to say that. He should have gotten castrated. And whoever's in that neighborhood, if he's in a certain neighborhood in North Carolina, everybody better be aware of where he's at. And just he should have never gotten any life for air.
He should never be allowed to have access to internet again.
No.
They say he used his Facebook page to lure these women in. What up with it, J-Rock?
Hi, J-Rock.
Hi, Tanya Hicks. How you doing?
Yeah. In New Jersey, we had Megan Kagan where this guy raped this girl and killed her. And it was a big story back in the 90s. Right now, he's in prison for the rest of his life. So right now we have a sex offender registry here in New Jersey, and anybody can go to the computer, find out where your sex offender lives in your community. Like I was having a good day until you told me this story, man. This is ridiculous. If that judge is up for election and then the prosecutor's up for election, they should vote these two guys out.
You know what? I got a little 2 cents. I'm gonna go ahead and
what's up, Lady RB? Do your thing, J-Rock.
Yeah, well, shout out to everybody in the chat once again. Much love to y'all. I was like, man, why you come out here with this? I had some things I got to do. Now I had to jump on this thing and address this shit. Here's the thing, man. First off, this in South Carolina. Nobody seemed to notice the connection that Charlemagne, the guy, is also from South Carolina.
I didn't know that.
With that same incident with another woman by the name of Jessica Reed that he was supposedly had sexually allegedly SA'd, even though it wasn't alleged, because of the simple fact he took a plea deal on that.
What about Puffy?
That and I'm sorry. There's another little tidbit I forgot to tell y'all. I don't know. I'm trying to find out where this was, but I ran across this. DJ Kid Pope's dad is also a judge.
I got nothing to say on that. That's ridiculous.
So I saw it somewhere, and I'm trying to pull the information up. But while doing that, I found out something else very interesting, and that is, I saw this article here that it said Florence's DJ Kid trying to intimidate trafficking witnesses from behind bars. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Doesn't that sound familiar to anybody at all? J-Rock,
this is not my generation. This is not my generation at all.
Marsha Hauser is saying that your device not connected.
Who, me?
No, somebody else trying to join the panel. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, this is not my generation, Big Vi. They should have just had a firing squad, anything. But I just, you know what? They should just, like I said before, the guy was black, they would have shot him dead to rights. I'm sorry to say. I really am. No, I'm not sorry to say that, but that's a fact.
693.
Bad.
693 in the course of 2 years.
They said Magic Johnson had sex with so many doggone women. Is he in jail? No.
Nope.
Oh, God.
But you know what? Like I said, when I saw this, let me see if I can try to pull this thing up. And it said Florence's DJ Kid trying to intimidate trafficking victims from behind bars, prosecutor says. This is the exact same shit they said that R. Kelly was trying to do.
But he admitted, but he pled guilty to all of this shit though.
This is like Larry Nassar and the gymnast.
Right, in which Simone Biles, who happened to be a little black girl from the neighborhood, who wound up testifying in front of Congress.
And the Department of Justice is paying them a lot of money for that, for Larry Nassar. This country is screwed up. The justice system is screwed up. I don't know what to say unless somebody sees him in the neighborhood, beat him up and put him up fire or do something. But this is ridiculous. I'm not in that country. I'm in Jersey. So listen, I just feel sorry for the people that the girls that had this. I pray for them. I will pray for them on my birthday, and just let that guy rot. Wherever he's at, I hope somebody gets him.
700 underage black girls in the. I don't want, but they want us. I mean, then you sit here. They want R. Kelly to rot in jail.
I'm going to Kill Bill now. I'm going to Kill Bill. Get my Hansel sword, Big Bob. Just get my Hansel sword and let's just go. Let's get the Hansel sword. I'm going to Kill Bill on this dude. Let's go Kill Bill on this dude, man.
He shouldn't even. Honestly, he shouldn't even be allowed back in.
No, he's not.
He shouldn't even be allowed back in North Carolina, period.
Somebody should just castrate him. Really?
Marsha?
Yeah. But thanks for having me up here, Big Boy. Yes, you have a good rest of your day. And I pray for these black women. They're not going to be the same. Remember those two cops that did those two black men in that the goon squad? They made them shower and had a sex toy on them. You know? Yeah. And they'll never be the same neither.
And look at that. And them cops got 40 some years in prison. And this dude, he didn't fucking sexually. Well, he didn't rape 700 underage black girls and infected them with HIV, and he only get 30 years.
That's nothing.
In the 30 years to 19, then he can get out in 5 years.
Dad.
Right.
Just go, a Big Boy, go Kill Bill on this dude. I love all y'all. Just go Kill Bill on this dude, please.
I got
Big Vi.
What's going on, Marcia?
Hi, what's going on? He's gonna get out on good behavior. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
He's gonna get out on good behavior. I used to work for the Department of Justice. I know how those rascals roll. He will get out on good behavior. They are protecting him by all means necessary. But unlike you, Big Vi, and everybody on the panel, I am outraged beyond outrage. Where is Time's Up? Where is the feminist
movement? Where's Me Too at, man? Where's Me Too?
Where's Gail King?
Gail King nowhere to be found, ma'am.
You know, where are all of these people? Where are all these so-called victims? I'm sick of it. I mean,
where's all the celebrities that care so much about
what's your name, ma'am? What's your name?
Marcia.
Hi, Marcia. I'm in Jersey, man. I just say let's just get the firing squad. Like I said, if the guy was black, they would have shot him dead to rights. I'm sorry to say that, really.
Hey,
he would have never seen the jail. He would have never seen the day of light.
Nope.
Right. You know what, Big Vi? You asked the question about where the celebrities are and all these other people in regards to that. Check on DJ Pope's Instagram. And what you're going to see some pictures that DJ Pope is taking, that he's taking with celebrities, some of whom had a whole lot to say about R. Kelly. I pictured with him.
I'm about to throw up, man.
I just ran across his Instagram.
He should even have an Instagram, and he got a blue check.
I'm just tired of.
Let's pull up. I can drop a few names right now who he took pictures with, and I'll drop one name: Steve Harvey.
I've heard a lot of stuff about Steve Harvey, J-Rock.
A couple of other notable celebrities. Let me see if I can pull that because I just had it up here.
This justice system sucks eggs. You know what I'm saying? It's just that
People get away with murder and everything else, but I just feel so bad for these girls that they're not going to be the same. They need a lot of therapy. I don't know if therapy is going to help them, you know. And one girl got HIV. I feel sorry for her. She should have never gotten HIV in the first place because of him. He probably never told her he had HIV or AIDS. Now she's going to be a mark for the rest of her life. She's already got a life sentence.
And I'm not finna sit here. I'm not finna sit here and believe. I'm not finna sit here and believe he only gave HIV to just one of these 693 women.
I don't think so.
I can't believe that shit.
No.
I don't think so.
But you know what? They've been doing this since they brought our ancestors here on chains. When they bring people into the Department of Justice or any criminal justice system, what they do is they have a encyclopedia of charges, and this is how they get people to get immunity, you know, testify against folks. They have a book of charges, like an encyclopedia, and they throw them up against the wall and hoping and praying that they stick. The people that they are charging and bringing these charges against, they are willfully basically ignorant of the law. They don't know, and they become intimidated. So they'll come back to them and say, well, I'll take this if you give me this and that. That's how they're able to have this big percentage, you know, this big conviction rate. That's the only way.
I remember I was in high school, Big Boy. This is the 80s. We had an English teacher, and he was involved in a child pornography ring. We didn't know nothing about that. We had floppy disks back then. I was in his class, you know, but we didn't know who he was. But we know him as Mr. Pepe, but we didn't know what he was doing. And they hired him as a teacher. You know?
I was in time growing up. I saw it a lot growing up. Most of the, I mean, when I was in school, the teachers was doing all type of foul shit with the students. I mean, we used to try to take driver's education because we had driver's education in school. But
I didn't take driver's ed, Big Five.
The boys could never take it. I couldn't even take driver's ed in school because it didn't come out until later on why so many girls was in driver's ed. It's because the driver's ed teacher was a man and he was using his driving permit as leverage to fucking have sexual relationship with these girls.
But Big Five in the panel, they, like I said, they've been doing this to us. They've been doing it to us for years. There is a big difference in how we are sentenced, a disparate treatment.
Oh yeah,
are sentenced and how they are sentenced. The white boys, they got it don't even matter anymore. They are just throwing stuff in our face. But what gets me is that we cannibalize one another before we get tangible receipts. I don't want to hear about what happened 15 years ago and you just now speaking about it, but you knew that this person was doing wrong. You're just as complicit and culpable as the person that you're accusing of doing.
Preach, man. Preach, sister. Preach,
you're just as complicit. I don't want to hear that. But what makes me angry with our people is that we won't ask for tangible receipts. We get too emotional and we don't use critical thinking skills and common sense. We don't step back and say, let's assess this situation. We just don't. We don't.
And Carla put a good comment on. Carla say it's the HBCU component. A lot of legislators are working to make the exposure of HIV/AIDS a non-criminal offense. We may pay attention, and that's the shit that they always have agendas. They want to give R. Kelly, charge him for exposure, right?
Right, and you know what?
I'm sorry.
Exposure to a STD that he never tested positive for.
And you want to know what is so crazy? On the Instagram again, V103 in Chicago actually tagged it. So it said Jason Roger Poe, better known as DJ Kid, received a reduced sentence after pleading guilty for having sex and prostituting hundreds of black girls. Pope was sentenced for 30 years in prison, but sentence was reduced to 19 years. Now here's somebody who brought it up. Said Pope was sentenced to 30 years in prison, but got 19. He got less time than R. Kelly. This V103 in Chicago.
I mean,
V103, y'all asses need to be up in arms about this.
Most definitely, you gotta be, man. You gotta be, because we look at this shit and it's like a slap in the face, man.
It's
You like
selective outrage. We pick
right,
and choose who we want to be angry with. The stuff with Diddy. It's a
Diddy.
joke. It's a
Yeah,
joke.
Diddy. I think Diddy's gonna get in trouble for this and everything else. But I'm just sick and tired of us being be used
but
as
we
laughing
being
stock.
the face. They making us the face. Just
Yep.
like they overturn Harvey Weinstein conviction, then the next day, R. Kelly appeal get denied conveniently. Come on, man.
Yeah.
When I heard about that, Big Vi, and now they have to retry the case, the judge said they shouldn't have let those prior acts that Harvey Weinstein in that case in the first place. So I don't know what's going
And
on.
that's
I
how
guess the
it is.
system
So
sucks.
the judge saying what he said, right?
Yeah.
Saying that what the judge said, the reason for overturning Harvey Weinstein case. When you look at the R. Kelly cases, the same shit took place.
Yeah.
So how could an appellate court not see that? and you looking at what the highest court say, hold on, this wasn't right. But the
Oh
appellate court
God.
can't see
Well,
it to be
thanks for
right.
having me up here, Big Vi. You
Oh,
keep
no
up,
problem, Tank.
you keep up the good work. Stay on this guy's neck. I'm just
Thanks for the
telling you,
support.
we're a laughing stock as Black women. We should be more. We should be outraged. Me Too movement. You guys suck eggs. Where are you now, man?
And the people
Where
who
are you
out
now?
here, and the ones who are out here empowering Black women and promoting
Yeah,
and talking about the love for Black women, they
they
want to lock
don't.
men up and say that those men aren't good for Black women. Come on, man. But other
Uh,
men can be Black women could be out here promoting being hoes and selling pussy and setting niggas up. But a man can be out here talking about the heart of a woman, he word of a woman. They don't want a man, they don't want to promote healthy relationships with Black men and Black women. They
They
want
want
Black
Jerry Springer
men to
trash.
promote you out here shaking your ass in front of these kids and got your goddamn kids out here talking about twerking and all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
How is that not a problem?
I don't know, but thanks for having me up here, Big J. We've become a laughing stock, and I don't know what the solution is. Whoever the judge in South Carolina is, he should be out, and the prosecutor too.
The
Thank
federal
you.
he's a federal judge. The only way he can
That's a lifetime
is by
appointment.
lifetime appointment is by the Senate. So
Now, I think we should have a term limit for judges who have a 2-year term limit for these federal judges. I always
Yeah,
said that.
you got it. Somebody see the thing is,
Bye, Big Bye. Bye, everybody.
all right, Hammer Time.
Thank you.
They may do this shit and feel as though they got away with it, but I'm telling you, man, the God I serve sits high and look low, and this shit is not gonna go unscathed, man. This is crazy. This is outrage. Like, you mean to tell 693? I don't even think
it's a slap in the it's a slap in the face, Big Vi. It's just is they're gonna continue to do it. They are going to continue to do it, but we got to educate ourselves and stop being emotional. We got to get away from being emotional and start reading and researching so we can call shit out. Until we get to that point, we're going to continue to have this scenario here. Like the lady said, oh, they're going to come after, Diddy. I have a difference of opinion on that there because the guy that filed the lawsuit against them, they getting ready to take that Negro's license. And the judge is recommending that he be debarred for not doing his research and not serving the clients properly. So we
Man,
got
you look
to,
at that damn lawsuit Lil Ron put in against Pete.
yes.
That's bullshit, man.
And you cannot, and it goes according to each state about wiretapping. You cannot film somebody
No.
without their permission.
And
In
that's what
some
just
states you
happened with
can.
the guy that was a part of Donald Trump campaign with
Yeah.
Fannie Willis. She illegally recorded this dude, and she tried to use the shit in court as evidence.
You can't do that. You cannot do that. The shit with Cassie, she recorded Diddy with all that information, but she didn't tell Diddy. In the state of California, that's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got to learn the law. That's the only way we're going to be able to push back on them. That is the only way. When we cannot be emotional, we've got to read and research and start calling stuff out. We got to take the emotions out of it.
And you know
we
what?
got to be cutthroat.
You mentioned 693. We're
Yes.
talking about 693
exactly
in 2 years.
Yes.
2 years span. What about the rest other years before 2017
Exactly.
and 2019?
Exactly. It's criminal. It is beyond criminal. He should be shot. I would like to use him as target practice.
You know,
I wouldn't kill him.
Shit, though, and you make good points. That's the reason why I do and operate the way that I operate, because I take my emotion out of this shit, and I look at this shit and say, is only right or wrong. That's it. When you look at this shit and you really understand it, you know, and when you see like the blatantness of it, you know what I'm saying? For me, like, hold on, man. They just said this man just fought. He just appealed his conviction in February. They told us we won't hear nothing back from the appellate court up to 18. It could take up to 18 months. How the hell did shit come back within 2-3 months?
It's criminal. It's just, and the judges and our people have to understand, when these judges and these prosecutors get together, they go to the country club. They be out on the golf course making deals on cases.
Mm-hmm.
With us in mind, we got to put people in there that look like us, that's going to represent us. You know, it's much bigger than what we see. You know, we really got to educate ourselves. We have too many brothers and sisters sitting in jail and incarcerated for bullshit.
Go to this. I'm gonna play this a little bit. I'm gonna play this a little bit more, and y'all see that this next video right here. This guy was a convicted rapist in Louisiana, is sentenced, and they ordered to castrate this man for one woman. And you mean to tell me that this man, DJ Kid, 693 women, and you give this man only 30 years, then you reduce the 30 to 19 years, and he can be out within the next year.
He's going to get out on good behavior. Ain't nothing happening to the Neanderthal.
Incredible stories on Indisputable here. 3 years earlier, January 2020, Pope was indicted on 14 charges, including criminal sexual misconduct, promoting prostitution, human trafficking, kidnapping, and other offenses. Highly anticipated trial, however, never materialized, as the judge granted continuances that gave the defense extra time so that the defendant could be evaluated mentally. And soon thereafter, a psychiatric expert diagnosed Pope with autism.
Well, what about this expert that said Mr. Kelly wasn't no goddamn pedophile?
Exactly. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up.
You can't. This shit's crazy, man. It's crazy. When you look at it for what it's worth, this shit makes no sense.
I give 0 about what Pope was diagnosed with. Back to the 693 underage black girls and the one he intentionally gave HIV to. 0. As a result, Pope's lawyers quickly filed motions claiming he was incompetent to stand trial. During a bond hearing in December 2021, Pope's attorney claimed their client had the mind of a teenager and deserved to be set free. No, one teen and teenager.
What the fuck? He got the mind of a teenager and deserves to be set free. What the fuck?
Is the problem here, defense attorney, desiring disgusting acts with underage? That's the problem, attorney. And no, he should not be set free to do it all over again. However, prosecutors argued that Pope was still trying to contact and intimidate victims from his jail cell. Bond was denied. He got something right. One thing.
But they say he got a teenage mind and he don't comprehend, but he know how to intimidate witnesses. What is so grown ass even doing with these little girls' numbers?
Big Vibe. Didn't I just tell you that earlier?
Yeah.
But the article about that, how it said that he was trying to intimidate witnesses from behind prison. Matter of fact, here's a quote from the prosecutor. Said, from jail where he is right now, he is getting the word out and still trying to intimidate victims. He does not recognize that anything he did was wrong. And if he were to be let out of jail, there is absolutely no way to protect the public from Jason Pope, said Heather Wise, SC Deputy Attorney General.
And then you got to look at this shit, right, Marshall, and you got Miss Cookie on here and J Rock. I want y'all to look at this shit. How can a man should not be able to take a plea deal when you the fucking raped 693 women? Why can't these women come take the stand? Why can't these women give testimony and let the goddamn jury listen to this shit? And the judge shouldn't base the sentence off how he feels. Oh, I'm gonna give you 30 years because I feel like that's enough, but then I'm gonna come back and reduce the 30 down to 19. Come on, man. These victims should have been heard.
They should have been heard. Yeah, they should have been heard. So what have we had happen in the last few days? Harvey Weinstein's conviction gets overturned. This happens within the last few days about Kid Pope's sentencing being reduced to 19 years. Oh, and by the way, just yesterday, R. Kelly's appeal conviction being upheld. So if Black people don't see the blatant injustice, Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles can see this shit.
Yes. Yes. Even the child with severe autism who is intellectually challenged, nonverbal, could recognize game.
Hi, panel. How y'all doing? Good morning, good afternoon for some. Yeah, this is sad. It's sad. And I was listening to a young lady that's on the panel that was speaking, and J Rock as well. No, a lot of people they think that we approve of, children being harmed or men doing certain things to women. But what I look at, like I don't follow a lot of these cases like I did with R. Kelly. Because R. Kelly, like you said, he's the poster child. And then as we see, all these other cases is coming down on our people. On our people. And us as people, Black people, we sit here and we want to judge and cast them out and, they need to go away forever. But then we look at cases like this. Like you said, 693 women, HIV, 30 years, reduced to 19, out in perhaps 5. And we don't say anything. But for our Black men, cast them to hell.
Yes. Yes.
And we went back 30 years of this man's life on accusations.
Yes.
Of what we thought, or we believe, or we were brainwashed to believe he is guilty of.
Yes.
And like I said, we need to take the emotions out of it. Yes, it's sad for anyone to be harmed. I don't care what age you are or what race you are. But we put our emotions so deep because we want to fight for the Black young girls But who's fighting for those 693 black girls? Like I said, where's the Me Too?
Tarana Burke damn sure ain't.
Exactly. Where's the hotline for this gentleman? So it's not about, we condone anything or we say it's okay because it's R. Kelly. It's about looking at our black men. I have my thoughts on the P. Diddy thing as well as OJ and all those other people. But these are our black men. If they're not in jail, what are they trying to do? Turn them into what? Then we got to worry about the ABCDEFG people. So it's just taking away our production of our people. Because if all the black men are gone, what do we have left?
Nothing but a bunch of women.
Right. And we want to rule the world. We want to rule the world, right? So what do we leave our black men? In jail, dead, doing things they shouldn't be doing out there in the streets. And then we're going to say they're sorry black men. But we won't fight for them.
No, we won't.
Ain't you going to fight for your husband? Something go down with him? Right or wrong, you're going to fight for him. You want to be accountable, but you're going to fight for your man, right?
My sister, may I interject?
Yes, ma'am.
Section 8, food stamps, welfare, grants, all of the things to enable us to be highly educated has been a detriment to us in another way. And it's really deep, and you got to step back and you got to look at things in black and white. And I'm not opposed to sisters being educated, but it takes two. And we need our black men. But a wedge has been purposely and strategically put in between us to make us, dissipate. And we are not recognizing game. And they've been doing this for years. They've been doing it for years. The late Senator Monahan of New York, he wrote a report in 1967 about the state of black community. And what he wrote has come to fruition. What he wrote, we are seeing it now.
Shit sad.
It's I know I'm not trying to get off the topic, but everything that is happening in our community now in terms of relationship with black men and black women is a result of things that happened years ago. But it brings it back to the criminal justice system. It's not for us. It was never meant for us. The first police officers were slave catchers. So we really got to take our emotions out of it, and we must educate ourselves. And everybody on this panel, I agree with everything you're saying, but we just gotta not be emotional anymore and start reading and researching and calling things out.
You're right. And I'm gonna start doing this from now on. Anytime anybody starts bringing up any type of BS on R. Kelly, I'm pulling this up quickly. Especially if you want to play this little Me Too game. The first thing I'm saying is, why your girl Tarana Burke ain't talk about this?
And J-Rock, what I would like to interject, I'm going to bring it up on all of them. When I hear them out here coming for black brothers, celebrities, non-celebrities, I'm going to bring this case up.
You should.
Yeah.
That's what And most of the time when we hear about these other people, what's the first thing we start hearing about? Mental illness.
Yes.
Mental illness.
Great point.
Yes.
But then, when we talk about R. Kelly and his trauma, nobody cares about what he went through as a child.
Exactly.
What traumatized him. Not to say that that's saying he's guilty or innocent or it justify anything. But when we speak of his, flaws, we're making excuses for him. But yet these other people can claim and put in, pleas with their attorneys in the courts, mental illness. You know, and we got to sit back and look at this, because what they always tell us anyway, Black people, we don't like to claim that anyways. So we can get away with, playing it to the other people, because they would never, claim to have any mental imbalances or disorders. It just, people don't look at that. People don't see that. Every case you look at, when it comes to those people, they will say, oh, it's a mental imbalance or some kind of trauma that they endured as a child. But for R. Kelly, oh, no, y'all making excuses. That don't justify his actions. He did this for 30 years. But everybody who claimed they knew, what part do you play in it then?
They all guilty and complicit.
Yes. Which is really sad. It's sad.
Yeah.
And for us people, don't see that and not unite together as one to fight for our people. Whew, they did a job on us. That's all I could say.
All I can say to this panel is, in the morning, you Black. The middle of the day, you Black. Noontime, you Black. Afternoon time, you Black. Close the business at night, you Black. You use a Negro, and they let you know every day. They let you know every day through policies from the state, local, federal level. They let us know, and they let us know how they really feel about us. You just a nigger with money, but you a nigger without money. They don't value us. They never have. We are just for their convenience. It is what it is. They don't value us. There is no justice system for us. There is none. This case tells it all.
693 in 2 years.
Can't wrap my head around it. Can't.
And you want to know what else so ironic? What is one of the things that they also try to attach R. Kelly to? They always try to attach R. Kelly to a RICO, to a criminal enterprise, and to sex trafficking. And like I mentioned about Black folks, we Black folks sometimes we don't we get our emotions so thrown up into something we can't see the forest for the trees, right? And here's something really interesting. If R. Kelly is being accused of sex trafficking, running a criminal enterprise, why wouldn't the same thing be said about Fort Valley State and HBCU? Because 7 people were indicted in a prostitution case in Fort Valley State.
I remember that, J-Rock.
And one of the women that was running was supposedly an executive assistant to the university president.
I remember that.
And it was under the umbrella of a sorority, of a well-known sorority.
Alpha Kappa Alpha.
Exactly. They were doing, and 5 other men were also being associated with. So, and I'm not trying to intentionally make any connections, but there are certain women that are in politics that are also part of that same sorority. One of them had to be named Fannie Willis, and other notable politicians. And isn't our vice president also an AKA?
Yes.
I'm just saying.
She is.
Man, it's sad, bro.
We just live in this is just so disheartening. I can't wrap my head around it. I'm just like, is this for real? Is this for real? And they have done everything under the sun to our community. Everything under the sun. We cannot let this We cannot let this get by. And if any other blogger does not bring this up, shame on them. Shame on them. We need to call it out. We need to call it out collectively.
It's sad, man. I'm gonna see what she got to say, and I'm gonna show y'all what happened to the guy in Louisiana. Hold on. Let me see.
Just one. Later, a psychologist for the prosecution also determined Pope was competent. Before the trial was set to begin, however, Pope pleaded guilty last August, ensuring he would walk free again. Did you have to let him plead guilty? Pope had more than a dozen run-ins with law enforcement related to involvement with young girls dating back to December 2011. Do you see what I mean?
Boom. So right there.
As far as 2011.
Now, right there alone, he should come on, man. They want to sit here and tell us with the same shit with Mr. They want to show a pattern of behavior. This, that, and the third, all this shit. This dude run-ins with the police early 2011, and it's still, and all of it is involving underage girls. This shit's crazy, man.
So you're actually responsible. So all of these dating back to 2011, dozen run-ins. One such incident involved a 13-year-old who claimed she had unprotected sex with Pope, only to later discover he had AIDS.
Nah, so how the fuck out of these? Nuh-uh. I know y'all caught that.
Replay that one more time.
So they want us to believe between 2017 and 19, none of these women contracted HIV, but early as 2011, this ship, the 13-year-old, man, look here.
Acts with underage. That's the problem, attorney. And no, he should not be set free to do it all over again. However, prosecutors argued that Pope was still trying to contact and intimidate victims from his jail cell. Bond was denied. He got something right. One thing. Just
8 years.
For the prosecution also determined Pope was competent. Before the trial was set to begin, however, Pope pleaded guilty last August, ensuring he would walk free again. Did you have to let him plead guilty? Pope had more than a dozen run-ins with law enforcement related to involvement with young girls dating back to December 2011. Do you see what I mean? So you're actually responsible. So all of these dating back to 2011, dozen run-ins. One such incident involved a 13-year-old who claimed she had unprotected sex with Pope, only to later discover he had AIDS.
So y'all want us to believe that he only gave one female HIV.
Right. And you want to know what else? She said ever since 2011.
Yes, the
that
run-in
was
in 2011 is when one of the girls during the 2011 run-in was a 13-year-old who discovered that she had HIV.
And see, and R. Kelly, after his 2008 trial, you haven't heard nothing from him in a decade. So all the dirt that was being done around that time that fit the bill that they try to stick R. Kelly on, he actually did in that whole time frame.
He did 8 years. That's 8 years he was running rampage and abusing underage young girls. HIV. Oh, I want to make him target practice. I want to put on my combat boots, my old combat boots, and use him as target practice. I don't want to kill him. I want him to suffer. I want to use him as target practice. Forgive me, Vi, but I'm angry.
I'm with you. I'm trying to for the life of me right now trying to understand this shit, man. You mean to tell me as early as 2011, this man was notified that he had HIV? And from 2011 to 2017, he was out running rampant. And from 2017 to 2019, he had sex with over 700, with 693 underage black girls. Are you serious? And to come out here and say that he only gave one of the victims HIV?
I don't believe that at all. I think it's more. Like Miss Carla said, they just don't want their business out like that. But it's more, and they know that it's more.
But
You know,
it's how they're just, totally disrespecting our community, how they're really insulting our
our intelligence, yes.
That's what gets me. I'm like, are
Yeah.
you real? Are y'all for real?
Jason Pope also intentionally infected at least one of the young victims with HIV. Come on, man. Come on, bro. That shit frustrating, man. This shit frustrating.
I want to cry because it's just really, I just really want to bawl right about now because this is really insulting. This is just, it's the insult of all insults. But they want black men to be the poster boys of sexual deviant behavior.
You can put every black nigga that they got out here on these sexual allegations together and they don't have no 693 women.
It just, it's just, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Darren Sharper, the list goes on and on.
Cuba Gooding Jr., P. Diddy, all they make it so salacious when it come to black men. But this white man is out here from 2011 all the way up to 2019, and they only talking about the 693 women between 2017 and 19, and not the other probably, goddamn, if he did 693 in a 2-year span, in 8 years, that's over 1,000 or so women.
Yes.
You know what? I just came up on a tweet, on a past tweet that he put out. If you don't want to be pissed off, you might want to leave the channel now, because what he said on this, I forgot. It doesn't show the year. It shows the date, July 16th at 6:39 p.m. He says, "I'm 36 with 693 bodies, all black females. WBU. What about you?" He put that on a tweet.
Black Mob say, hello to our host and everyone in the chat. I gotta go, but just to let y'all know that Steven Styles, Aerosmith for a frontman, wins dismissal for good of
Sexual
sexual
assault
assault,
lawsuit.
meaning the person can't file again. What the
Any black person out there, don't tell me shit about R. Kelly. I don't want to fucking hear it.
I just can't. I mean, I can't. I'm in disbelief for some of this today. Like, I was excited to come on here because I read the articles on Twitter, but I hadn't, listened to the videos and really got into the details. I just said I'm gonna listen to it when I get on here and listen at the same time as everybody on here. And man, to hear this shit.
Vi, when you actually put it out in the community wall on YouTube, when I read it, what it was, I said this is about to be some. I said this is about to be some shit. I already know.
This is just, it's disheartening. It's insulting us. I mean, they not only insulted, they just the criminal justice system just pissed all over us. They have defecated all over us emotionally. I mean, really. I mean,
I guess a black girl ain't worth nothing but a couple months in this society. Or 693 of them, and he only got 30 years to begin with. Then they reduced that 30 to 19. So a black girl, sexual assault in a black girl, but a couple days maybe.
Yeah. Or maybe it's worth it if you're trying to put out a book to try to gain some notoriety on a particular person, and you could use a black girls as a pawn to push that agenda forward. They're worth something then. Ain't that right, Gendera Goddess?
Oh Lord.
We'll see if she got a little more to say, because I want to show y'all what they did to this man right here, though.
This is who we're making a deal with and allowing to plead guilty? I'd let him plead guilty too, of the 13-year-old. So all of these dating back to 2011, dozen run-ins. One such incident involved a 13-year-old who claimed she had unprotected sex with Pope, only to later discover he had AIDS. This is who we're making a deal with and allowing to plead guilty? I'd let him plead guilty too to all of it. You could say guilty 693 underage black girl victims and the one you gave HIV to. Other than that, see you at trial. Some victims described the feeling of being spellbound, brainwashed by Pope's predatory behavior as he regularly gave them money or provided drugs and alcohol. Well, at least one girl acknowledged to investigators that most of...
But they locked R. Kelly up for coercion. Inducement. R. Kelly guilty on inducement count. They locked R. Kelly up for coercion, enticement. What the fuck is this shit right here? Giving money, drugs, alcohol. What is that?
It's a sad situation. It's a sad situation. It's sad.
The sex between them was what she considered to be consensual. You see, this is how young victims think.
You can't have consensual sex with a motherfucker who can't consent.
They're not old enough to drive, vote, do much of anything. Certainly can't give consent. But this is how young victims think. It's natural. They're kids who've been violated, manipulated. Other female victims allege Pope held them against their will so he could have his way with them on a regular basis. Evidence
sound like a cult to me. But they say women who can leave and go as they please are being held hostage. Oh my God, y'all. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. Uncle Mule, what's up with it, man? I'm trying.
Blessings to you, nephew. Blessings to the distinguished panel. How y'all doing this afternoon? Forgive me being late to the party. I'm just
Blessing, Uncle News.
I'm
Yes.
just listening in. But let me say this one statement. No disrespect to anybody's faith-based and religious background. But let me say this. In Psalms 12, verse 8, you can go read it in different versions to get a clear, understand. You can read it in NIV, ERSV, King James, but all of that. Basically, what the scripture is saying is that the wicked individuals, by their own admission and choice, walk about freely. They're able to do that when the vilest of men, VILE, is lifted up and exalted. When we just stand by and do nothing, meaning when I say do nothing, every human being on planet Earth has a free will and a power of choice. There are things that Almighty a lot of times allow for a greater divine purpose. There are things He permits, and there's times when God has to intervene because of Him giving humanity the free will and power of choice. which is in its core an awesome divine act of love. God can only use goodness and righteousness because that's just the essence of his character. But Satan, on the other hand, the enemy, the accuser of the human race, can mix truth and error. He can incite you, agitate you, try to give you influence thoughts in your mind to cause you to misuse your free will and power of choice, where he can use you as a tool, as an agent for his evil plots. So he sets up men and women in high places. You know what I mean? Because if you really wanted to deal with this particular subject at its core, then you would know that Mr. Kelly and others who's been proven in transcripts is innocent of the child. But when the violence of men is lifted up and allowed to roam freely the way they do and have access and be on the floor passing bills, when you have others who sit back and don't stand up, then you get bills passed. That's a detriment. That's an evilness that hurts. So it's few, but I think God has proven time and time again, I yield back on this point, that he don't need a whole lot to make a difference and do an impact. But you got to understand how this forces works. You can pray, look, I can pray, and it seems like, man, a prayer's hitting the ceiling ain't going nowhere. But then when nephew pray along with me, when J Rock prays along with me, when Miss Marsha prays along with me, now God is not disrespecting or overstepping the free will. What he has now is more permission. So he triples and quadruples his efforts of angelic power to come and fight the enemy, the evil demonic forces that's influencing humanity to do wrong. But that process takes time because God works within his own government laws. So it's humanity that stands up and says, enough is enough. That's what Big Mama did back in the day. She would go into that prayer closet. She would get on her knees and say, Satan, you would not get none of my children. It was a mother's prayer back in the day that held the fiber and the foundation pillars of the family together. Because it's something different when the mother prays for her family. That's why you have the enemy trying to trick and deceive and distract and do all of this foolery with women primarily, because of out of you comes new life that's born in the image of the Most High. He is angry when he sees that, because now that's someone God can shape and mold and use for his divine purpose. So he's mad at men because we have to see, but he's really angry with women. That's why he don't want the family dynamics to work, because it mirrors the heavenly, angelic, and God's relationship with the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. This Uncle Muse, I yield back and let that breathe for a moment. Please let that breathe.
That was a lot. But if anybody don't think that this is the spiritual warfare, in certain aspects, I would advise you to take a deeper look at it, and everything that's going on around us, the things that they are trying to promote in different things like that, sexuality and different things, like, it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And this whole I've been thrown off What up with it, Monty? I've been thrown off, man, just listening to this whole situation today. Kind of, I wasn't prepared to hear the stuff that I've heard, and I can't unhear it. I can't unthink it. Just it's sad within itself, and to see that, they say that we just expect we do things to each other, and we just expect each other to just be like, okay, let's move forward. Like what this man did, this man was a terrorist in the community wherever he lived. He should not be able to step foot back into the community that they took him from. A sex offender registry just ain't enough for someone like this. Being monitored just not enough for somebody like this guy. It took y'all from 2011, and that's just what y'all speaking on. What about before 2011? You know how comfortable somebody have to be to assault 693 underage black girls,
and not only be comfortable about it, but put a tweet out about it. That's the ultimate in arrogance. That would be considered, what's the word everybody like to throw around all the time? Narcissistic.
Yes.
Yeah. Narcissistic, victim shaming, whatever. When we come out and have these panels and we just speak about the information, we disingenuous, we not considering the victims and different stuff like that. But I mean, what about parents who have children? What about average? What about a person who has feelings? Period. In general.
Right. And my question is this: if R. Kelly is a narcissist, what the hell is he?
Satan.
Privileged. Demonic.
Privileged.
Demonic privilege. Neanderthal.
Yeah.
As photos collected from the suspect's Facebook page showed an array of sexually suggestive photos featuring Pope and lascivious poses with scantily clad black girls. He went after black girls.
He specifically targeted black girls. So that sounds like a hate crime, don't it?
Yes, it does. And to the panel, you guys, I don't believe that Jeffrey Epstein is deceased. I think they recreated his
girl.
image.
Shut your mouth.
I don't either.
Me neither. Me neither.
I think he's somewhere else living.
Me too.
Yeah,
I've been saying that. Yes, that man never had a funeral. Ain't nobody seen nobody that we know of.
Never seen.
But they want us to believe.
Never. You Tim C got paparazzi everywhere. Never seen the man even leave the prison facility.
Right.
I guess he got buried on the prison yard. They got a funeral. They got a grave site on the
front. Yeah, I don't believe that either.
Mine, but he didn't give a damn about them, and he knew that they were not worthy, and nobody would care. So much so that he could do it 693 times in a 2-year period with underage black girls, giving one of them HIV on purpose, and he'd be allowed to plead guilty so he could see the light of day again. So I think we've answered the question: what black girls are worth? Not much.
In case, unless your abuser is black and famous.
Pig. A viral TikTok video also helped build the case against Pope. During the investigation, authorities sought the public's help in locating other girls who might be connected to the human trafficking cases in Florence, leading to many hundreds of girls coming forward. Society has failed you. Young, beautiful, promising Black girls, society has failed you. And it's up to us. I guess it's up to people who look like us to instill greatness into your minds to let you know this shouldn't stand. Get rid of this attorney general.
The factor on
We're gonna go to this right here. Now look at this. Convicted rapist in Louisiana sentenced to physical castration in additional to 50 years in prison.
A man in Louisiana will have a permanent reminder of the punishment for raping a 14-year-old girl. Not only will Glenn Sullivan,
a 14-year-old girl. I wonder what this 14-year-old girl, Black or white?
Sr. be heading to prison for the next 50 years. A judge has ordered that his balls be removed. My next guest demanded Sullivan be physically castrated. And joining us tonight on The Factor Uncensored, we have Livingston Parish Assistant District Attorney Brad Cascio. Glad to have you here on The Factor, Mr. Cascio. Crazy situation there. A man is accused and has been convicted of raping a 14-year-old, and he was sentenced to 50 years in prison. And now part of that sentence is physical castration. Many of us have heard of chemical, but when you talk about physical, exactly what does that mean?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Of course, we're talking physical this time, as you said, unlike the chemical. I've had probably 2 or 3, I think, over the course of my career, chemical castrations that are ordered. And what that entails in the state of Louisiana is a scheduled administration of shots throughout the remainder of the defendant's life that he has to go in, he has to report, and he has to voluntarily intake. And if he ever were to take testosterone or steroids to counteract those injections, then that would be a new charge and he would go back to prison. For the case of physical castration, we're talking about a surgeon surgically removing the defendant's testicles from his body.
Got it. So now the person in question, the man convicted, is 54-year-old Glenn Sullivan Sr. How did we get here? Give us a little backstory to tell us why this was necessary.
So Glenn Sullivan has lived in Livingston Parish, to my understanding, his whole life. And I can tell you he is what we call a long-time offender or a career defendant. He has constantly been a part in the justice system as a defendant. And this particular crime that he's committed is just so egregious and so heinous. The raping of a 14-year-old girl, which led to her being pregnant. Now this girl is raising this child. I mean, she has to live with this the rest of her life, with this child that I'm sure she's, gonna love and she's gonna raise. And, I really commend her. She was able to actually finish school, get her high school diploma, and she's really making something of herself. And I'm proud of her for that. And Mr. Sullivan, just being the lifelong defendant that he is, committing such a horrible act to this young girl, I think he deserves every bit of this.
And it's my understanding from court.
I wonder why they just saying that and they not showing us or telling us the identity of the victim, whether she's Black, white, whatever.
She's a Neanderthal. She's a Neanderthal.
Yeah. I'm finna find out though. I'm finna Google it, try to see if they got some information. I want to know. Yeah. So let's listen.
Records that he also threatened to kill her and her family if she told someone that he had raped her.
That's correct. That's usually a part of this type of offense, right? These guys want to exert some type of control over their victims to protect themselves. So they will often use threats of violence or harm to either the victim or the victim's loved ones and close relatives to keep that secret and to protect themselves. It's my understanding from speaking with the victim and her family that Mr. Sullivan does have a history of physical abuse. And so not only was it a threat, but it was a real threat. It was something that he was likely to follow up with. And so that definitely instilled some fear in this victim. And like I said, I'm very proud of her because at some point she said, enough's enough. I'm tired of this. And she came forward. And for somebody at such a young age in such a dangerous position to have the courage to come forward and see this all the way through, I felt obligated to bring her as much justice and as much vindication as possible.
And how is she now? And is she still living in Livingston Parish?
Well, I don't want to give up too much about the victim, honestly, because I don't want to do anything.
But we do know she's an adult now.
Yes.
Yes. Got it.
She is safe, and she is, she's living her life.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. And when the sentence of 50 years in prison and then the castration, physical castration, is that something that you requested, something that he requested? What?
So under the Louisiana law that's currently on the books, on the conviction of certain offenses, the court can order chemical castration. But there's a subsection that says, with the defendant's written consent, in lieu of chemical castration, we can order physical castration. So, in speaking with the defense lawyers, they were going back and forth with me over what type of sentence we were looking at, and the idea of a 50-year sentence came up. And I considered it, and I've said the only way I'm agreeing to 50 years is if he agrees to, instead of chemical castration, we do physical castration in this case. And so the defendant actually, after speaking with his lawyer, being advised of all of his rights, signed a written motion and order for the physical castration and agreed to it.
Now, was that a tough decision on your part, or you said, this guy's a monster, let's move forward?
You can't find nothing about. You can't find nothing towards this victim. So I'm just gonna go out on a limb and let's just say this had to be a young Caucasian girl.
Yes, yes. And it's probably a prominent Caucasian girl. Somebody he impede off.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
And like you said, prominent.
Prominent family thing.
Dare I say, maybe even child of a politician?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Now that the girl's grown, and everything, and they don't, they still don't, want to let anyone know anything. Like, what if this girl get into the justice department and become a prosecutor and went through this type of shit, and dealing with somebody, she gonna have prejudice, when it comes to situations like this. So why is it that no one need to know who she is?
It's too much. Too much. This case and topped it all. They cannot come to me and say anything about any black man. Oh no. No. They can't. No. I don't want to hear it.
Nah, it is sad. It's sad. But it'll come out eventually after years, and like they say, I mean, for they ordering this man to be castrated, but DNA test and prove that he was the father of the girl's child. She kept the child, raised the child. So shit. If he repeatedly doing this, it was a stepchild. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. I don't get it. A lot of this shit that I don't understand, and it only makes sense.
It's either a stepchild or his sisters or brother. It's someone that got some pull related. That got some pull, and they went ballistic, and they had him locked up.
I just want to know if she has any contact with that man's family because of the child. That's the interesting dynamic I would like to know.
I mean, I'm quite sure he done told his family, you know, why are you locked up? You know what I'm saying? Oh, then so it's people that know. So I don't know why they make the shit seem like it's so private. You get what I'm saying?
Right. I just wonder how that relationship dynamic is.
Miss Milana, you went off. Come back on, so we want to hear what you got to say off, because I'm done for today, man. I'm my fucking man, my head space is just rambling right now. You know, you get a man, all right, true. Now this look at the penalties. I want everyone to look at the penalties between this man. He raped one girl. They say it was multiple times he impregnated the girl. They sentenced him to 50 years in a castration, physical castration. You go over to Carolinas, this dude and fucking raped 693 underage black girls, infected one of them with HIV, allegedly. I mean, only one. I'm not gonna say he did infect one with HIV that they want us to believe it was only one, and this dude's only getting 19 years.
But you
And
have
he only got to serve 5 years and he'll be free again.
Well, can I interject this also, Big Vi? Louisiana, that was a state crime. The one in South Carolina is a federal crime. I know a crime is a crime, but you got to look at the jurisdiction. You have to look at the jurisdiction. Look at it. State and federal, totally different. Louisiana, they backwards. They are backwards.
Now they're gonna give out some of the harshest punishment. I'm from Louisiana, born and raised my whole life.
Yeah.
You gonna get some of the harshest punishments.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, they believe in that in Louisiana. You know, you got people who 3-time offenders, you know, they probably, you know, they first 2 charges may have been a domestic violence charge and a drug charge, and they go out and get a shoplifting charge. They act on for the rest of their life.
Yes.
Because Louisiana just don't play like that. You know, but to just sit here and look at this shit, listen at this shit, like we studied saying, what's a black girl, what's a young black girl's life worth, or innocence worth? You know what I'm saying? You see 693 of them, and you sentence him to 30 years, then you come back and reduce the sentence to 19 years.
And that was on the federal level. The thing that happened in Louisiana, he's probably going to Angola. It's the state level. And he's probably molested some senator or pastor, somebody what they consider prominent in their community's daughter.
I did a case a while back on my channel in Louisiana, talking about the Vincent Simmons story of these twin sisters in Louisiana, white girls. Said that this man raped them, and the man did 20 years in prison, and he did 44 years in prison. After 20 years in prison, he got a hold to the doctor's reports from the 2 girls when they went to the doctor for the rape kits, and found out that one of the girls' hymen was still intact, and the other girl admitted to having sex with her cousin and not Vincent. And then when they go to trial and overturn Vincent Simmons' case, these white girls say, well, at least we got 44 years out of him.
And this the case where the guy was black.
He was black.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Louisiana is known for doing crazy stuff. I went to school in Louisiana, college in Louisiana. Oh, they known for doing crazy stuff.
Shit, you get a man life sentence for you know, it's crazy. It's just the thought of it, man, and the blatantness of it. You know, we gonna do this because we can.
They've been doing it for years. They've been doing it for years. In every state in this country, they have been disproportionately sentencing black men, women, young teenagers with harsher sentences for years, and putting charges on them for crimes that they never committed. For years, some of our people have died in prison for crimes that they didn't commit. And we've got to get to a place, we got to fight back, but we cannot be emotional. We've got to change the laws, and every state, we need uniform laws across the board. One state, it should be lottie-dottie everybody.
Yeah, I said just like they say when it federal is 18 across the board,
Yeah,
it should be state. It should be laws that are across the board.
yeah.
Period.
That's
And
the
that's the shit that makes it so fucked up because each state, laws are different. Consent
yeah,
acts are different. Like why have different state laws? Why each state have different laws on state levels, but federal is the same across the board?
yeah.
It doesn't make it. It's the confusion, man, to keep you confused.
Every state has different laws, and this is what we're fighting. But we've got to arm ourselves. We just got to. We don't have no choice. We have got to take up this fight because no one is going to help us. No one is going to save us but us from us. Where are the black fathers? A lot of them incarcerated. Potential husbands incarcerated. And there's a lot of people, our people sitting in prison that have never committed a crime, but have been brought up on trumped up charges and convicted. And the judges know it, and the prosecutors know it. Down to the cops, they crooked.
Man, that's it, man. And I want to say to each Marshall, uh Hammer Time, Funk, Miss Cookie, J Rock, Uncle Muse, uh Miss Melanie, she was trying to get on, but man, I appreciate y'all for coming on here because today I was finna end this live a long time ago because when I started reading it and listening to that shit, I'm like, how? Like, ain't no fucking way, man. Ain't no way. But I appreciate y'all for coming up and helping get through this story and just looking at the salaciousness of it, and the double standard that we live by on a day-to-day basis. Like, we don't have the time to be battling with each other and going back and forth with each other as black people. We have to be out here educating each other, helping each other, iron sharpen iron.
Exactly.
Well, I'd like to thank you for your hospitality, Big Five, Brother J Rock, Uncle Muse, Miss Melanie, is it? Miss Marshall?
Miss Milan, she
Thank you.
left. Yeah,
Yeah.
she left.
A pleasure meeting you. Thank you once again for allowing me on your panel,
Oh
and
yeah.
y'all
I
have a
think
blessed weekend.
you need to cover this story too. Use this story on your platform.
Yeah,
Miss
I actually have a live coming out today. I was gonna do it at 3:30 on R. Kelly. It was gonna be something small. It wasn't gonna, but this is something that I would like to hit on. I don't have all the info like you do, but I can have an open discussion about it and other things. So if you feel free to come by if you have a time, and y'all have a blessed weekend.
Well,
And let's stay prayed up and try to, unite our people together. We need to wake up. We need to wake up.
okay. What's the name of your channel again?
Cookie the Real 717.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
and you
drop
said
the
it's gonna
link.
be about what? You said 3:30.
3:30.
Yeah, 3:30. I'll drop the link once I drop out of here.
Okay, cool.
All right, y'all have a blessed one now.
You too.
You too.
Bye bye.
Miss Marsha, I'm gonna need you now. Now you came up here. I'm gonna need to see you up here more often.
All right, I
I'm gonna
will
need your
try.
expertise.
I just want us to, think smarter, think on our feet, as they say in the military, because I have a military background besides law enforcement. And We got to take the emotions out of it, and we got to get to the meat and potatoes of the situation when it comes to law enforcement and how we are operating in the law enforcement. Too many times we've been given wood nickels. We cannot accept any more wood nickels. We
Right.
just got to start calling folks out, calling legislators out. But the Me
Thank you.
Too movement, Time Up movement, Black Lives Matter, and these feminist groups, no Black woman should be a part of them. They are basically, they have defecated in our face, and they are using us to go against our men. And that is causing division in our community. And we cannot be united if we are divided, if we are at each other's throats. Can't.
Yeah.
Can't.
Yeah.
I thank
Well
you
said.
for coming over, and like I say,
Well,
I hope to see you more often.
yes, 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 yes. Well said. Well said. I truly
Yes,
believe.
I'll go ahead. I'll say something because I got a couple of errands to run anyway, right quick. But I'm gonna say this because I actually want Uncle News to get the final word anyway.
Yeah.
At this point in time, I don't want to hear shit about R. Kelly,
Exactly.
Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, even Diddy at this point. I don't want to hear nothing about any of them. If you don't want to get up here and address the other people that have been doing way worse than what I'm been blamed for, don't say nothing. I recently got through with an audio book about the life of Marvin Gaye. Going through that, I came to the conclusion you can't have our black icons. So that is my fuck you to anybody else that think you can. Because at this point in time right now, Vi, you've already said it earlier. If you don't think it's a spiritual warfare or political warfare, whatever the case may be, then I don't know what to tell you. Because it is black, because like Marsha just eloquently said, all these movements that are also politically driven, and we are in 2024, which just so happens to be an election year. You have to really, you got to
Thanks,
really
love unconditional. Since I asked V to drop the link, but he's too busy putting eyes in the goddamn chat. Don't nobody want to see you. Ain't nobody come here to see you, Otis. I'm just playing DV. Don't. I'm just playing DV. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to put the leg quarters on me.
but basically, I'm saying, man, keep your head on a swivel and don't believe everything that they say about us as black men.
All right, my brother Jay Rockwell. I see you around, my brother.
All right, appreciate you.
Hey, I'm gonna be out of Texas, so I'm gonna hit you up, man.
Oh, for sure.
So, Miss Marsha.
Yes, I'll just, you be blessed. Everyone have a blessed week and just be productive. I'm out of here, and you take care of yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And like I say, don't be no stranger. And anytime that you can grace the panel, just feel free to let me know, and would love to have you back up.
All right, thank you. You be blessed.
Prophet, Uncle Mills.
Yes, sir.
You put a little season on it before we get up out of here, man.
Yes, sir. Second Chronicles chapter 7, verse 12 and 14. 12 says, Then the Lord appeared to Solomon by night and said to him, I have heard your prayer and have chosen this place for myself as a house of sacrifice. Now let's drop down to verse 14. Here's the key that unlocks the access to things being done on this planet Earth, in this wicked world that we living in. Goodness, God's justice will always prevail. Look at history, go through history all the way back from Roman Empire, pagan Rome, paper Rome, Medo Persia, Babylonian kingdom. Look at all of those wicked kings, Nebuchadnezzar. It's in the history. Everything. God prevailed. He strategically had a plan and had a chosen people. Even when they were hard headed and disobedient and blew it a lot of times, got it back together. They got it together. And look what God did to those wicked kingdoms. They said history repeats itself. So if you want to see the current state and where you can pretty much estimate where it's headed, just look at previous history. So like Papa and Big Mama said, who's on the lower side? To me, that's the best side to be on. Because the other side in history proven to be you're gonna get wiped out. You know what I mean? It might look like you're doing it for a minute, but God's original plan will be accomplished. So verse 14 says, if my people, whoever decided to turn their life over to God and walk the goodness of righteousness to path the best way they know how, as he's leading and guiding them and giving them their spirit, they making the necessary adjustment to be the best version that he has put in all our DNA to become, to overcome the evil, to make better choices, to mature, to overcome our deficits, our unforgiveness, our bitterness, all of that stuff. Once you make up in your mind to be on the path of righteousness and goodness and continue to seek God's understanding and leading and reading and standing on his promises, then you're part of his people. So then he says right here in chapter 14, here it is, hold on to your seatbelts. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, humble, you don't see that. And when you don't see that, you can pretty much determine the outcome. Humble themselves and pray. Number 2, humble, pray, and seek. See, this is a choice. Remember, free will, power of choice. That's what Jesus meant when he said, if any man will come after me, he must first deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. All what Jesus was saying is that your human will and your power of choice, surrender that to me as you navigate this evil world. And victory will always be yours. Because of your innate fallen nature, you have to constantly check yourself, as Ice Cube said back in the day, before you bid and wreck yourself. Because the innate nature that we have, the tendency to do wrong, always wants to rise its ugly head to take over. You see it. And then don't get in law enforcement. Don't get in government and still be, oh man. That's why you see the things happening. So those who are righteous, Daniel was a man of God. Look what God placed him at. Joseph, his brother sold him into slavery, but he wound up being second command. You see, God has people, but you got to be on his side and follow his plan. And you ain't a match for the enemy and the demonic forces on your own. You need God. So that's humble, pray, seek my face, and turn. That's what repentance is. It's not just confession, being sorry and remorse for what you have done. Yeah, for hurting God, going against God, being on the evil side, doing things wrong, being malicious, holding on to unforgiveness. Once you decide that, okay, I'm not on that no more. I want to be the best version that the Heavenly Father put me on this planet to become and make a difference and impact humanity the best way I can do. So then when you do that, now you have to turn. That's the repentance part. Your whole shifting and mind thought process have to shift. So you have to, now I must break relationship. I got to stay away from that atmosphere. Cut out any vices and anything you're doing that's going to hinder you and pull you back. You got to turn and no turn back. No turning back. So you got humble, number 1. Then you got pray, that's number 2. Seek, that's number 3. And then you got turn, that's number 4, their wicked ways. Then the Lord says, then I will hear from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. Meaning, wherever your community is, wherever your city is, whatever the state that you in, whether it be an actual state like Oregon or the state of your mindset and your dwelling self. That's 2 Chronicles chapter 7. Go back a couple of chapters and start there and read all the way up, and then you'll get a full flow. And then that particular scripture will hit different. Blessing to your nephew. Hope that helped somebody and gave somebody some encouragement to hold on to. I yield back to you, nephew.
Well, all right, Uncle Muse, man. Thanks for the word of the day, encouragement of the day. I hope everybody in the chat that's listening got it, took it down, jotted it down, go back and read it, check it out for yourself. And with that being said, we out of here, man. Until next time, we stand on their necks, y'all.
Yes, sir.